Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your Monday Night Raw results, superstar spoilers, and other wrestling news going around the world. A happy birthday goes to The Rock, turned 44 years old today. Former WWE and TNA star Sean DeVary turned 32 years old. Today would have been the 53rd birthday of 2016 Hall of Famer Ray Big Boss Man Traylor. The late Elizabeth Hulett died of an overdose of painkillers and vodka on May 1st, 2003 at the age of 42, and that was on Sunday. Dave Taylor turned 59 on Sunday. Humor Tornado, a.k.a. Craig Williams, turned 33 on Saturday. I noted earlier this month that WWE Tag Team Champion Kofi Kingston left the European tour to be with his wife as she prepared to give birth. The couple's second child arrived over the weekend, announced by Kofi with his True Kofi, officially a family of 4. Life is so good, as noted. Congratulations to him and his wife. Tag Team Champion New Day member Kofi Kingston and his wife gave birth to their second child, a baby boy. On Thursday, introducing Orion Kingsley Sarkodie Mensah to the world. Join the rest of the WWE Universe in congratulating Kofi Kingston and his family on this exciting new chapter in their lives. The Dark Main Event Raw was advertised as Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and AJ Styles versus Sheamus, Chris Jericho, and Kevin Owens in 6-man tag action. Chris Jericho teased his latest departure from WWE with a tweet on Monday. After all, thanks at WWE, it's been real. Chris Jericho wrote on Monday, "See you next time." Jericho was advertised for Raw and future shows to take that what it's worth. I think he actually tweeted that after Payback pay-per-view. In this WWE Payback Fallout video, Dolph Ziggler talks about his pre-show win over Baron Corbin. Ziggler says he's not here to make friends. He's here to be the best, so he understands where Corbin is coming from. Ziggler says Corbin beat the hell out of him, but they both proved that what they are. Corbin is a cocky Dolph Ziggler wannabe, and Ziggler is the best. Again, go to the link. In an update from Thursday night's NXT tapings, Bayley was not injured in the match against Nia Jax. The leg injury was just an ankle, as I gave the result for the spoilers on the Payback video, and it's and the WWE trainer who helped her to the back was an indie wrestler. Xavier Woods tweeted the following comments after former TNA World Heavyweight Champion Eric Young made his NXT debut at Thursday night's tapings. As Xavier Woods, PhD, so at the Eric Young shows up at WWE NXT, seems like a pretty cool shift is happening. The ankle injury that Finn Balor reportedly suffered during the WWE NXT title loss to Samoa Joe on April 21st was just part of the match. However, the Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that Balor is said to be banged up, especially his shoulder. There has been rumors of Kevin Kross, who works for indie promotions, including Future Stars of Wrestling and Global Force Wrestling, having talks with WWE. Kross recently defeated Scorpio Sky in a Lucha Underground dark match. He got a look from WWE when he teamed with Darren Young at a February 2015 Raw event. Kross has the look that WWE likes, as he's a 6'3" and around 265 pounds. Well, Camp WWE is rated TV MA due to adult languages. TMZ reports that China's habit of mixing prescription pills in the same bottle It's making it hard for detectives to figure out what she took before she passed away late last month. As noted, China's manager and friend stated that she was taking Ambien and Valium. But it will be a few months before the toxicology results are back. A source told TMZ that police found several full prescription pill bottles near China's body, some which contained multiple medications and vitamins. There was said to be at least 4 different types of pills. Due to the mixing of pills, police will have to wait on the toxicology report to come back. Hall of Famer Jim Ross noted on his JR'sBarbecue.com blog, the fellow Hall of Famer Cowboy Bill Watts recently underwent spinal surgery. As Ross wrote, Cowboy Bill Watts recently had spinal surgery as a result of his years in wrestling and is home recovering nicely. My mentor is in great spirits and is an ornery as ever. Jerry the King Lawler opened his new restaurant and club on Beale Street in Memphis, Tennessee this weekend. JR noted on Twitter that his barbecue sauce is served there as well. And here's a photo of that establishment. A recent episode of Pro Wrestling Report with Damian Nelson and David Harrow, who has worked as a booking agent to many pro wrestlers when discussing TNA's troubles. Harrow says former World Heavyweight Champion Eric Young and Bobby Roode left TNA because they were owed a pretty big amount of money. At around 11:40 mark, Harrow commented, and you can go to that link for it. Also commented, Bobby Roode and Eric Young left because they were owed combined 6 figures combined. How do you not pay those guys, right? It's no secret that TNA has had issues with paying talents and production workers on time over the past few years, but this is the first that I've heard about Young and Roode leaving because they were owed. The good friends signed their contracts on the same date years ago and left the company on the same day. Go figure. Both are now working with WWE NXT. Last heard about TNA being late with payments is early March. Then rumors of more problems in late March. New hire Andrea DeMarco did ring announcing at last Thursday's NXT live over the weekend live event in Cocoa Beach, Florida, while Tom Phillips was the host. As noted, Greg Hamilton has apparently moved on to the main roster. In this picture here, I'll show you, Cody Rhodes got a new tattoo to pay tribute to his father, Dusty Rhodes, this weekend. Seth Rollins was not backstage at WWE Payback on Sunday in Chicago, as some people reported. Despite the rumors on social media saying that he was spotted, most of the photos were taken in 2015. Rollins has been filming WWE Studios Temple in New Orleans and should be wrapping up in the next few weeks. Hall of Famer Bullet Bob Armstrong will be wrestling his retirement match on June the 4th in Chickasaw, Alabama for the Gulf South Pro promotion. It looks like the new WWE Camp WWE episodes will premiere each Sunday night in the on-demand section of the WWE Network. As of this video, only the first episode is available. Here's the synopsis for the second episode. Not without my eyebrow. Panic ensues after someone shaves off The Rock's eyebrow, and Ric Flair is tasked with helping the Great One regain his mojo. It was believed that the Dudley Boys would interfere in the Tag Team Tournament Finals on Sunday with Enzo Amore and Big Cass versus the Vaudevillains at Payback pay-per-view, but they did not because of the fact that Enzo's concussion stopped the match. No word yet on when Enzo will be cleared to return to the ring, but you can expect that the feud will to resume, as Bubba Ray Dudley tweeted the following on Monday. Bubba Ray Dudley at Bubba Ray Dudley. Glad to hear at WWE All Day 21. It's feeling better after his little boo-boo to his head. The Dudleys look forward to seeing you again. The original plan for the Villains versus Enzo Amore and Big Cass at Payback pay-per-view had Simon Gotch and Aiden English winning the match to become the new #1 contenders to the Tag Team Champions The New Day. As noted, there were rumors that the Dudley Boys would cost Enzo and Cass the match, but the match ended due to Enzo suffering a concussion. Also noted that Chris Jericho teased on Twitter that he has finished his most recent WWE run at Payback last night. In the loss to Dean Ambrose, Jericho is still advertised for several WWE events this summer, including the July show in Japan. PW Insider confirmed that Jericho is scheduled to be at Raw in St. Louis. Find out later in this video. And SmackDown in Kansas City tomorrow. That doesn't mean that he will be on TV, but he is scheduled to be there. Well, Enzo Amore is backstage at Raw in St. Louis, even though he did not appear in the segment with Big Cass and the other tag teams. As noted, he will have to pass Impact concussion testing before he's cleared to return to the ring. Unknown if it's just inside the ring, but they kept him off TV. Cryptic tweets from the members of the Wyatt family continue. After recent comments from injured stars Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper, Braun Strowman posted the following today. It's worth noting that even up until last night's show went on the air, WWE had the Wyatt family featured in all Payback promotional material, but they obviously did not appear because they put it on their card subject to change. At Braun Strowman posted, some say the end is near. Some say we will see Armageddon soon. I certainly hope we will. Hashtag down with the machine. Becky Lynch versus Emma was planned for last night's pay-per-view, but at one point obviously did not happen. The two were backstage and have been continuing their feud on Twitter, but we don't know why the match didn't happen. It could have been due to timing, but the match was also pulled from a recent Raw or SmackDown event. Former League of Nations partners Sheamus and Alberto Del Rio were backstage at Payback, and one early draft of the show had them doing a singles match. No word yet on why the match also did not happen, but it could take place on the show from Raw, as you will see it here in this video. TNA has announced on Twitter that they've signed Caleb Conley and Sienna Allison Kay on the independent circuit. Well, check out the spoilers that I did last week. Crazy Steve of the Decay re-signed to TNA's dying company. Also, Robbie E re-signed too. And by the way, more news from Robbie. He posted on Twitter, OMG, we're having twins. Hashtag they're gonna be famous. Let me show you a picture back there for you. Sienna has worked for both Shimmer and Shine, as well as Women's Superstars Uncensored. Becky Lynch recently did a lengthy question and answer with Ashley Benson of Exo Benzo. Check out the full article at exobenzo.com. AB, do you consider, they asked, do you consider what you do as a sport, a performance, or a fight? And Becky comments by saying all the above. The sports portion is the athleticism we show in the ring. The performance is the most prevalent aspect. And the fight is with yourself to be better than you were yesterday. AB asks another question. Do you still get nervous before a match? And Becky comments, every single time. There were two matches I wasn't nervous for, and they were the worst matches ever. Every time I get the butterflies, I thank God. AB asks again, what is dating like given your career in WWE? Becky says it's not easy because of the constant travel. Being on the road 5 days a week is very tough. Sometimes you're lucky enough to find someone who gets it. AB comment, asks her again, what are your goals outside the ring? Becky comment, answers, eventually I would love to open a cafe or a restaurant in New York City. I want to create a good life for myself and the people I love. Stay true to myself while making the world a little better. And last question, AB asks, how has social media affected your career and life for better or worse? Becky answers, it gives me a platform to voice my opinion and reach a vast audience. I hope that through social media I can give a voice to young women everywhere. I also get to tell silly jokes. Bubba Ray tweeted the following in response to a fan who blamed Enzo Amore's concussion at WWE Payback on Simon Gotch. And Bubba Ray Dudley says, who commented to the guy who posted the tweet, named Swiss Made, it's ignorant marks like you who screw it up for everyone else. It's no one's fault. Things just happen. Smarten up. Kevin Bischoff won. Comments on that as well. At Pro 1133, at Clyde Frog 007, at Bubba Ray Dudley, at WWE All Day 21. Fair enough, but as a performer, you should go as safe as possible, and Gotch failed. Bubba Ray comments on his thing. As a fan, you should stick to cheering and booing, not analyzing. You failed. Who was backstage at Raw? Show you in the picture with Triple H. You guess by commenting in my video in the comments. Ryback is not at Monday Night Raw at Scott Trade Center in St. Louis, Missouri, because the word going backstage is that Ryback was at home and will be, as of this writing, or as of this video, off WWE programming until further notice. One version of the story is that Ryback himself asked to be pulled from TV. According to ProWrestlingSheet.com, Rich Brennan was blindsided by his WWE release. Brennan's real name, Rich Bocchini, was released by WWE last Wednesday by phone. He had been assured that his position with the company was safe after Mauro Ranallo was hired back in December, and it is not sure what changed that. Bocchini says that he is not bitter about the release and has high hopes to do play-by-play commentary for NHL now that he is done with WWE. Back to Ryback. His contract does expire this summer, and the two sides have been, according to several sources, at odds over negotiations for a new contract. I'll have more on this developing story as it becomes available. Rusev won a Battle Royal on tonight's Raw from St. Louis to become the new number one contender to the U.S. champion, Kalisto. The match also featured Apollo Crews, Victor, Damian Sandow, Zack Ryder, Stardust, Sheamus, Titus O'Neil, Alberto Del Rio, Darren Young, Baron Corbin, Sin Cara, Dolph Ziggler, Bo Dallas, and Curtis Axel. Rusev eliminated Ryder to win, then celebrated with Lana while taunting Kalisto. Rusev will likely get his title shot at the May 22nd Extreme Rules pay-per-view from Newark, New Jersey. Previously announced for Extreme Rules is AJ Styles versus World Heavyweight Champion Roman Reigns in his Extreme Rules match. And Vol Villains versus WWE Tag Team Champions The New Day. And don't forget, one other match that was basically announced from Raw results is Charlotte versus Natalya again. This time, Ric Flair banned from ringside. NXT superstar Eric Young commented on his recent WWE NXT debut on Twitter. He also appears to be still accepting some indie bookings this month. You can check out his tweets on the subject at twitter.com/TheEricYoung. Well, at the Eric Young comments, thank you everyone for really real world shiz. The support and love is amazing. First step was today. Now it's time to go to work. Hashtag WWE, hashtag NXT. Also commented, this is only the beginning. Hashtag born again, hashtag change. And last comment, May 13th and 14th, just opened up Book Me. EYBookings at gmail.com. I'll post that email address for you. Hashtag World Class Maniac. Hashtag be for it. It's too late. So this must be like James Storm's deal a few episodes ago, or that he had a few episodes, then gone. But wait and see now. WWE take the following matches for superstars. Spoilers: Darren Young versus Damien Sandow, Apollo Crews versus Heath Slater. Dark match, or wasn't one. And the results: spoilers. Darren Young defeated Damien Sandow. Apollo Crews defeated Heath Slater. Slater dominated, to be honest. Doesn't say how they won, just up with it. Raw opens up with a look at some of the developments from Payback from Sunday night. We go to the normal Raw opening video. We're live from Scott Trade Center in St. Louis. As the power goes off, Michael Coleslaw welcomes us to the new era. He's joined by JBL and Byron Saxon. We go to the ring. Out comes Stephanie McMahon to booze. She has a gift bag in her hand. And she's heading to the ring and is announced as one half of the Power of Raw. She says it feels great to be back, and she wanted to do this for weeks. She goes to do a big welcome and is interrupted by Shane O'Mac's music. Out he comes to a great big pop, and Stephanie gets booed out of the building. Shane joins Stephanie in the ring. He gets a pop. Of course, she does a Shane O'Shuffle on the rampway. He welcomes everyone to Raw. Stephanie talks about how she learned how to do good in business and be a good business partner in the 7 years that Shane has been away. Stephanie has a peace offering and hands Shane the gift bag to show she does wholeheartedly embrace the new partnership. Shane asks, "What's the catch?" And she said, "There is none." He pulls out the photo of Shane and Vince from when Shane was a kid, the same one that Vince stomped on several weeks back. Stephanie comes off as genuine and asks Shane his ideas for tonight's show. Shane says he's moved by the photos and asks Stephanie what her ideas are. She's hesitant. She gets a fan to pick whose ideas they want to hear. They say, "Do you want Shane's? Or do you want to hear mine?" Boo. Yay. Boo. Yay. Well, there you go. Well, Shane goes for the present to present his ideas for tonight. And just as he's about to say something, out comes Kevin Owens and his music. Owens calls it a lovely sight to see brother and sister in the ring on Raw, getting along and everything. Owens says he has an idea of his own, a great idea. Owens says the first decision you should be to give him was his. Well, he first did the same thing. Well, I'm going to give it to... He basically said, "Well, do you want to hear my ideas? Well, I'm going to give it to you anyways." Owens says he decimated Sami Zayn at Payback and has proved that he's better. Owens says now it's time for him to refocus, and he wants the IC title rematch tonight. Owens then says he has no hope in Shane doing the right thing after seeing how he's done things lately, but he praises Stephanie, brown noses her as a smart businesswoman. Owens says it's in his contract. He's owed a rematch. They all agree he has a valid point, but the music interrupts and out comes Cesaro to a pop. Cesaro says he has had the Miz beat in the middle of the ring, but unfortunately for him, the Cesaro section, the resident whiner and complainer put his nose where it don't belong. Cesaro says he would be standing here as a champion if it wasn't for Owens. Shane says in the new era, we handle business in the ring. He announces Cesaro versus Owens to determine the number one contender to the Miz Shane's music hits, and Cesaro rips his suit off to reveal that he's ready to go. First, we get a commercial break. Back from the break, Intercontinental Champion Miz is out for commentary with Maurice. Bell rings, and Cesaro immediately starts with the uppercut train. Cesaro nails a drop kick for a 2 count. They end up on the floor. Cesaro nails Owens from the barrier. Cesaro brings it back in, goes up top. Cesaro nails a crossbody for a 2 count. Cesaro keeps control and nails a stomp for another 2 count. Owens runs into an elbow, but drops Cesaro with a big super kick. Owens with a senton for a 2 count. More back and forth as Owens drops Cesaro with a DDT for another pin attempt. Owens continues to work on the shoulder, the injured one, on Cesaro. Owens talks trash to Coleslaw, and Cesaro takes advantage. Owens comes right back and drops him with an elbow. Owens goes to the top, but Cesaro cuts him off with an uppercut. Owens headbutts Cesaro for the top. Cesaro with a big drop kick. Cesaro climbs back up and brings Owens to the mat with a gut-wrench powerbomb suplex. Cesaro with another 2 count. Owens then hangs Cesaro up on top, and he falls out to the floor. Owens hits a frog splash from the apron, but the announcers call it a hog splash. And goes back in the ring to take another break. Commercial break. Back from the break, and Owens is in control. Cesaro tries to fight back, and they trade shots in the middle of the ring. Cesaro then unloads with uppercuts and backs Owens into the corner. Owens turns around and nails a German suplex. Owens with a corner cannonball for a 2 count. Cesaro ends up hitting a flying uppercut, and Owens goes to the floor for a breather. Cesaro runs around the ring and nails a big uppercut. Cesaro celebrates with the Cesaro section and comes back to Owens, but he gets hit with an elbow. Owens takes the Intercontinental title away from the Miz to hit Cesaro. Miz grabs it back. Cesaro hits them both with uppercuts. Cesaro goes back in the ring and begins the Cesaro swing on Owens, but the Miz attacks from behind for a disqualification. After the match, Owens and Miz argue before shoving each other. Cesaro hits them, but they beat him down together. Sami Zayn's music hits, and out he comes to a big pop. Owens throws Miz into Sami, but Sami closes out Miz. Sami unloads on Owens and backs him down in the corner. Sami blocks a skull crusher finale and hits an exploder suplex in the corner. Sami with a hell of a kick on Owens as the crowd pops. Miz avoids a hell of a kick, thanks to Maurice, and pulling him out of the ring and retreats up the rampway into the stage. Sami picks the title up from the mat, looks around, holding it, posing. Miz and Maurice look about halfway up from the ramp, and the crowd starts chanting the orgasms. Yes, 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 yes. And Sami raises the title, and his music plays in that segment. Stephanie McMahon walks up on Dean Ambrose backstage. She asks what he's looking at. He's not buying this new smile she's put on. He feels that she's still the same Stephanie McMahon deep down. She offers to be his guest on the Ambrose Asylum, and he's in. She says she's looking forward to it and can't wait to meet Mitch, the potted plant. She walks off, and Ambrose mocks her. Back to commercial. Backstage segment with R-Truth and Tyler Breeze. Truth are trying to get their team together, but says it was easier with Goldust. Goldust appears and has words with Breeze ahead of their match, as he's perfectly ignoring him. Truth gets involved, and Goldust says he has his own partner now. As Fandango comes up from behind, and they're just dancing. They do their little dance, swivel their hips kind of dance, while Breeze and Truth pose with both of them having a selfie stick. AJ Styles backstage talking to Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. They say Styles was phenomenal last night, but AJ reminds them that he lost. They go on and say that there's no way Roman Reigns is leaving Extreme Rules with the title. Roman appears as fans boo. Roman asks if that's right, and they square up. AJ gets in the middle. Reigns says He has a lot of respect for AJ after last night, but none for Gallows and Anderson. He says the interference proves that they don't believe AJ can be the guy on his own. Reigns asks if three of them can beat the three of them. And the Usos appear. Styles says he's going to take the title on his own at Extreme Rules, but tonight he and the boys are going to give Reigns a taste of what to expect. Styles accepts the challenge, and we got a match for your main event. As Reigns and Usos walk off. Next up, we got Goldust versus Tyler Breeze. We go to the ring, out comes Goldust with Fandango. Back to commercial. Back from the break, out comes Tyler Breeze with R-Truth, who has his own selfie stick now. Truth hands Breeze a do-rag after the belt. Breeze put it on and charges, but Goldust dropped him. Goldust asks Truth why he never got one. Goldust keeps wasting time on talking to Truth. Breeze finally takes the advantage and attacks. Goldust puts him down again and turns his attention to Truth and Fandango, who were dancing ringside. Breeze rolls up and he distracted Goldust for the win. Tag Team Champions New Day are walking backstage and we go to commercial. Back from the break, champions are on the way to the ring. They will be defending against Villains at Extreme Rules, was announced. Kofi Kingston starts off a big serious and talks about Enzo Amore suffering a concussion at Payback. They get into regular New Day promo mode, and Woods brags about Beyonce sliding in his DMs. Big E says that really didn't happen. Woods says that the New Day will be waiting when Enzo is ready to return, but until then, music and out comes Simon Gotch and Aiden English with microphones. English cuts a promo on the way to the ring and says, "This is a dangerous business, but a real man like them would have gotten back up." They enter the ring. Gotch says that they made Enzo the realest guy in the emergency room last night. Pyro interrupts as the Dudleys come out, and they don't look happy. Bubba Ray Dudley calls them carnies, such as the carnival freaks, and says they didn't win anything. Bubba says that they need to restart the whole tournament right now. Devon says that they're deserving, if anyone is, and they're the baddest tag team on the planet. The music hits. For a big pop, out comes Big Cass to the stage by himself. Cass talks trash to the Villains and says Enzo is his family. Cass says he is going to have to finish what was started last night. He mocks the Dudleys and calls both teams. I got one word for you. SAWFT. Golf. That's a fan chant along with him. Cass enters the ring and attacks Gotch and English immediately. Dudley's attack the New Day as we go to commercial. So we get 6-man action. Big Cass and the New Day versus the Dudleys and the Villains. Well, 4-man action, I guess. Yeah, 8-man tag. Back for the break, we got an 8-man tag match. Woods goes at it with English and causes Gotch to come in. Kobe tags in for some offense on Gotch. Big E comes in and hits a splash for a 2 count on Gotch. Everybody gets a piece of Gotch. Cass gets in and gets a tag and unloads on Gotch, taking him to the corner. Kobe comes in to start the Unicorn Stampede on Gotch. Big E whips a Kobe dropkick into Gotch as Woods plays Francesca to the trombone and fans sing along. Kobe with a kick to the gut. Woods tags back in and kicks Gotch for a 2 count. Bubba tags himself in, blind tag, and takes Woods down. Bubba yells and talks trash as the fans boo. He works Woods over and talks more trash, telling the Villains to pay attention and learn something. Devon comes in for a double team and a 2 count. Devon then tags in English and tells him to do something now. English goes to work on Woods and covers for a 2 count. Bubba comes back in and keeps Woods grounded. Woods manages to drop Bubba and crawl for a tag, but Bubba pulls him back. Devon tags in and drops a big elbow. Devon drags Woods over, but misses a diving headbutt. Kobe tags in and springboards to take Devon down. Kobe with a drop kick and a big right hand. Kobe gets fired up and hits the boom drop. English then distracts Kobe, allowing Devon to send him over the top rope. English sends Kobe flying face first into the ring post as we go to commercial. After the break, the Hills are still in control. They keep it up with tags and offense on Kofi. Devon comes back in and talks trash before dropping Kofi with a suplex for a 2 count. Kofi finally nails a double drop kick on the Vaudevillains. Cass gets a hot tag and unloads on English. Cass decks Devon and Bubba on the apron. He hits a big fall-away slam on English and then a splash in the corner. Cass with a running boot as fans pop. He drops the Empire Elbow, as the announcers call it. But Bubba breaks the pin. Woods drops Bubba. Gotch knocks Woods out of the ring. Cass grabs Gotch and throws him into the apron. Then kicks him off with a big boot. Big E catches Gotch falling off the apron and hits a belly-to-belly suplex on the floor. Cass doesn't see Bubba tag in and gets nailed by Devon. Bubba with a bomb and a 2 count on Cass. Kobe takes out Bubba. Cass counters the legal Devon and hits the East River crossing for the win as the fans pop. After the match, Cass celebrates with a New Day dancing as his music hits and we go to replays. Still to come, Battle Royal to determine number 1 contender to the U.S. champion Kalisto. Also Stephanie on the Ambrose Asylum. Back to commercial. Back from the break, we get a look back at Styles, Gallows, Anderson, Reigns, and the Usos from earlier tonight. Shane and Stephanie have made a 6-man main event official for tonight. They look back at the Chicago Screwjob for Payback. Still to come, Charlotte and Ric Flair will speak. Becky Lynch versus Emma was up next. We go to the ring. Out comes Becky to a pop. Back to commercial. Back from the break. Out comes Emma as Becky looks on. They lock up and go to the corner. Emma slaps Becky. Becky catches a kick and takes her down. Becky with an arm drag and a drop kick. Emma retreats to the floor for a breather. Becky jumps off the apron and takes her down for a pop. Becky brings it back in the ring for a 2 count. Emma ends up pulling Becky's leg out while she's sitting up top. Becky then hits the mat hard, and Emma covers for a 2 count. Emma takes Becky down and kicks her in the back. Emma keeps control and hits a double underhook for a 2 count. Becky fights back, but Emma nails a big boot to the face for another pin attempt. Emma uses Becky's hair and the ropes again. Emma catches a kick and slams Becky back into the turnbuckles. She talks trash as the fans boo. Emma with a crossbody in the corner for a 2 count. Becky finally makes a comeback and gets a pop. She hits an exploder for a 2 count. Emma with a roll up for a 2 count. Becky blocked a kick and slammed Emma on her face. Becky goes for the disarmer, but Emma avoided it. Emma suckers Becky in and tangles her with the referee, taking advantage for a cheap shot to the eyes. Emma with a Michinoku driver for the win. After the match, Emma stays in the ring as Becky leaves and looks on from the ramp. Still to come, Ambrose Asylum. Back to commercial. Back from the break, we get the new vignette for the clones. Primo and Epico. Duh. We go to the ring. Out comes Dean Ambrose for another edition of the Ambrose Asylum. Ambrose has his sign in the ring and Mitch, the potted plant. He introduces Mitch and then brings out his guest, Stephanie McMahon. Fans boo as Stephanie comes out for what she said will be an open forum. Stephanie says that she's glad to be here. She calls the set eclectic and says it's Ambrose all the way. She points out how there are no chairs. Ambrose gets to business and says he's not buying the new nice Stephanie. He says she must be ready to explode after what happened at Payback. Stephanie says that she couldn't be happier and talks about the new era. Ambrose shows a photo of Stephanie being speared by Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 32. He says she got a little overzealous, got involved where she didn't belong, and Reigns taught her a lesson. Ambrose brings up Shane McMahon returning, and fans chant his name. He says he has to bother Stephanie, but she plays it off. Ambrose brings up all the personal sacrifices she's made over the years for the family business, missing birthday parties and recitals. Ambrose asks if Shane has made the same sacrifices Stephanie has. He says Vince McMahon putting both of them in charge just has to burn Stephanie up inside. She continues playing it off and says Vince taught her a valuable lesson at Payback. That being, sometimes things just need to change. Stephanie says it's time to apply that lesson to Ambrose. She says he's been doing the asylum for a few weeks, and it's time for a change. She officially cancels the segment as the fans boo. She mocks him, telling him to clean everything up and get to stepping. Ambrose tells her she can keep everything, but takes Mitch with him. Stephanie stops him and introduces the returning host of the highlight reel, Chris Jericho. Jericho and Ambrose have words at the bottom of the ramp, and they start brawling. Ambrose hits a big clothesline and brings him back in the ring. Ambrose tackles him and unloads with right hands. Jericho blocks 30 Ds and hits a code breaker as fans boo. Jericho destroys Ambrose's sign and kicks him out of the ring. Heck, it wasn't nothing but a poster board. Jericho leaves the ring and stops when he sees Mitch. He looks back a couple of times. Fans chant no as he grabs Mitch. He grabs Mitch, the potted plant, and shatters him all across his Ambrose's back of the head. More boos for Jericho as he kneels down and talks trash to Ambrose. Jericho raises his hand in the air as fans boo louder and go to commercial. Back for the break, U.S. Champion Kalisto is on commentary for your Battle Royal. They come back from the break. Everybody's already in the ring. No ring introductions. It's filled with all the superstars. Apollo Crews, Victor, Damon Sandow, Zack Ryder, Stardust, Sheamus, Titus O'Neil, Rusev, Alberto Del Rio, Darren Young, Baron Corbin, Sin Cara, Dolph Ziggler, Bo Dallas, Curtis Axel. The winner will earn a shot against Kalisto. Titus O'Neil makes his way out, followed by Sheamus. Look back at the League of Nations split. Corbin was out. Well, one report. I didn't see none of that. Well, one half of the superstars, that is. Bell rings and everyone goes at it. Victor is tossed early on. Didn't even see his throw out, but we announcer said it. Sheamus and Axel work together. Sandow gets eliminated next. Cruz works on Stardust and eliminates him. Axel eliminates Young. Sheamus works over Cruz in the corner. Titus and Axel trade shots. Sheamus tosses Cruz, but he hangs on. Sheamus eliminates Cruz with a brogue kick on the apron, right after he got knocked on the apron. Sheamus gets decked and goes under the bottom rope to the floor momentarily. Ziggler and Corbin go at it. Corbin fights in from the apron, but Ziggler drop kicks him over the top, eliminating him. Corbin wasn't happy about it. He pulls Ziggler underneath the bottom rope, launches him into the barrier and then the ring post, then throws him back in the ring. Rusev grabs Ziggler and eliminates him right away in front of Corbin as we go to commercial. Back for the break. Bo works over Sin Cara in the corner. Titus and Sheamus go at it. Rusev stomps on Ryder. Sheamus eliminates Titus. Del Rio and Axel go at it. Del Rio nails a double stomp and eliminates Axel. Bo gets eliminated by Sin Cara. Ryder nails Sheamus with a big right hand. Rusev goes to work on Sin Cara. Del Rio drop kicks Ryder in the back, but doesn't go anywhere. Sheamus and Del Rio take turns on Ryder, beating him down on the mat. Sin Cara with a crossbody on Rusev. Sheamus and Del Rio beat down Sin Cara. Sin Cara ducks a double team and takes them both down. Rusev drops Sin Cara from behind. Del Rio and Rusev double team Sin Cara. Ryder and Sheamus go at it. Sheamus with an Irish curse backbreaker. Del Rio eliminated Sin Cara. The former League of Nations members all look at each other while Ryder is down. Sheamus throws Ryder to them. Rusev stomps on him while Del Rio warns Sheamus. They triple team Ryder as the fans boo. Del Rio and Rusev toss Ryder, but he hangs on. On the apron, slides back under. Sheamus tries to toss Del Rio, but it backfires. Rusev and Sheamus go at it. Sheamus tosses Rusev to the apron. Del Rio with a backstabber on Sheamus. Ryder with a rough rider on Del Rio. Rusev heel kicks Ryder. Sheamus misses his brogue on Rusev. Rusev nails a super kick on Sheamus. Del Rio eliminates Sheamus. Rusev kicks Del Rio when he turns around. Rusev tries to eliminate Del Rio, but he hangs on. On the apron, since he went over the top of him on the apron, Ryder then eliminated Del Rio with a drop kick. as the fans rally for him. So it's down to Ryder and Rusev. As they go out in the middle of the ring, Rusev runs at the knees in the corner. Ryder with a missile drop kick as the fans chant for him. Ryder with the right hand and then the broski boot. And then he gets ready for as Rusev comes right back and tosses Ryder out for the win. Basically no selling the broski boot. Number 1 contender, Rusev. After the match, Lana comes down to celebrate with Rusev. Calissa stands up at the announce table and Rusev goes wild, taunting him. So to come segment, the Flares. Coleslaw leads us into the clip from Captain America as we go back to commercial. Back from the break, out comes WWE Champion, Women's Champion Charlotte and Ric Flair. She downplays any talk of controversy surrounding the Chicago Screwjob. They knock Natalya and Bret Hart, saying the Harts are quitters. Charlotte says only one man can provide answers. She brings out Little Nate, Charles Robinson, to the ring. She thanks him for coming and asks him to tell the truth. Fan chat cheater at Little Nate. Robinson says that Natalya didn't physically tap out, but she was yelling, begging for him to stop the match, which was a lie. Flair chimes in and they laugh. Charlotte asks if Robinson's history with Flair has anything to do with what happened, and he says absolutely not. But they did show some footage of WCW. Little Nate, even kind of like wrestled as Ric Flair. Charlotte confirmed that the decision is final and dismissed Robinson. Natalya's music hit and out she comes. She says this is not about Robinson or Charlotte, it's about Rick. She accuses Flair of paying Robinson to screw her out of the title. She goes on and says the Hearts are better. Charlotte tries a sneak attack, but Natalya blocks it and sends her out of the ring. Natalya turns her attention to Rick now. He takes off his coat and to watch, but Natalya slapped Rick. Then Natalya took his leg out and applied the sharpshooter. Charlotte pulled Flair to safety as Natalya looks on. She puts Flair's Rolex and WWE Hall of Fame ring on as her music plays and she taunts him. So there comes segment 6-man main event. Back to commercial. Back from the break. Stephanie approaches the Flares backstage. And we don't see Shane O'Mac anymore for Raw. She knocks Flair and says everyone feels he's becoming a distraction. So he's banned from ringside for Natalya versus Charlotte in a submission match at WWE Extreme Rules for the title backstage. Roman Reigns and the Usos versus AJ Styles, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson, the Bullet Club. The World Heavyweight Champion and Styles start the match. Goes back and forth. Gallows comes in as a control. Reigns ends up catching him in a Samoan drop. Jimmy Uso gets a tag and works over Gallows. Jey Uso comes in with offense but eats a big boot for a 2 count. Gallows keeps control and tosses Uso to the floor. The two teams have words at ringside as we go to commercial break. Back from the break, and Anderson is in control of Jey. Anderson with a big spine buster and more offense. Styles comes back in and keeps up the attack on Uso. Gallows runs in and decks Jimmy on the apron but misses Reigns. Styles has words with Gallows about running in. Styles turns around to a big super kick from Jey. Reigns and Anderson then tag in. Reigns unloads and decks Gallows. Reigns with a big clothesline on Anderson. He goes to the floor for the drive-by on Gallows as the fans continue to boo. Reigns then unloads on Anderson in the corner. Anderson rolls him up after Styles comes in. More chaos as fans go wild. Reigns goes for a Superman punch on Styles, but is countered in midair. Jimmy tags in and nails a big crossbody on Styles for a close 2 count. Jimmy kicks Styles and decks him. Jimmy with a super Samoan drop on for a 2 count as Anderson breaks it up. Reigns nails Anderson and sends him to the floor with a clothesline. Gallows nails Reigns from behind on the floor. Gallows and Anderson take Reigns out on the barrier. Styles and Jimmy go at it. Styles nails a phenomenal forearm for the win. After the match, Anderson and Gallows bring Reigns into the ring, and Styles looks confused. They also have steel chairs. They hold Reigns and want Styles to hit him, but he hesitates. Anderson yells at Styles and gives him the chair. They hold Reigns and Styles backs up with the chair but throws it away. Gallows and Anderson stomp away on Reigns. Usos come from behind and nails AJ with a chair. Shot to the back. Usos clear Gallows and Anderson from the ring. Styles nails Uso with a chair shot. From behind as Reigns recovers and sees it and gets to his feet. Styles sends Uso to the floor. Styles turns around to a Superman punch. Reigns launches Styles into the rope, but he doesn't go over. Just bounces off to the mat. Reigns sends Styles to the floor and goes nuts, launching Styles into the barrier. Reigns takes apart the announcer's table as the heat continues. Reigns picks Styles up and sends him flying through the announce table with a big powerbomb. Reigns kneels down over Styles as fans boo. Reigns stands tall and raises his arms over AJ as his music hits. We get more replays and come back to Reigns walking away from AJ's body. He grabs the World Heavyweight title and as Raw goes off the air. Nothing more than that. And there's no results from the Dark Match main event. So that ends my video. Thanks for watching. See you when I want to be you. By the way, if you don't know, just call me brothers and sisters.